For weeks I thought I was just imagining things. Half-eaten food left in the fridge, containers moved, drinks missing. I brushed it off, thinking maybe I was too tired and forgetting. But deep down, something felt wrong. One night, I decided to set up a camera in the living room, just to clear my doubts. The next morning, I checked the footage, and what I saw froze me. At around midnight, a figure emerged from the attic crawlspace. A woman. Pale, thin, her movements disturbingly slow. She crept into the kitchen, opened my fridge, and ate directly from it. Sometimes putting things back half-eaten, sometimes drinking and wiping her mouth with the back of her hand. She moved like she had done this many times before. But the most chilling part wasn't that she was stealing food. The footage showed her creeping through the hallway, moving toward my bedroom. At 3:12 a.m., my door cracked open. Her face appeared in the dim light, hollow eyes reflecting the camera lens. She just stood there watching. For minutes, she didn't move, only stared. Then she slipped inside. She walked up to the bed, leaned close, her face just inches above mine as I slept. Her long hair hung down, almost brushing my skin. She hovered there, studying me, her breath shallow and uneven. At one moment, she even lifted her hand and held it above my throat, trembling, before pulling it back. Then came the part that made my stomach turn. I saw myself wake up. I remembered it clearly. I had gotten up in the middle of the night to grab some water. On the footage, I walked to the fridge, poured a glass, and stood there drinking. What I didn't know then was that she was hiding just a few feet away, crouched low behind the sofa, her face barely visible in the dark, watching me the entire time. I had no idea she was there. After I went back to bed, she crept into my room again. This time, she didn't just watch. She crouched in the corner, folding into the shadows, and she stayed there. Not for minutes, but for hours. The footage showed her sitting silently in the dark, eyes locked on me, until the faint light of dawn crept in. Only then did she slip back into the attic, as if nothing had happened. The next day, I showed the video to the police. When they arrived, they searched the house carefully. Finally, in the attic crawlspace, they found her, sitting there in the dark, as if she had been waiting. They discovered she had been living above me for nearly a month, silently coming down at night, eating my food, and watching me as I slept. I was 17 when this happened. My parents were out of town for the weekend, which meant I had the whole house to myself. That first night, I stayed up late watching movies. By the time the clock hit 1 in the morning, I finally crawled into bed. The house was quiet, completely silent. Somewhere in the night, I woke up. Not from a nightmare, but because of a sound. Breathing. It wasn't mine, it wasn't coming from outside, it was coming from under my bed. I froze, I didn't want to move, I didn't even want to breathe too loudly. The breathing continued, slow and steady, like someone trying not to be noticed. With shaking hands, I reached for my phone on the nightstand. I unlocked the screen and tilted it down, just enough to light the floor under my bed. At first, I saw nothing. Then, 2 eyes. Wide, unblinking, staring right at me. I nearly dropped my phone. I jumped out of bed and ran to the bathroom, slammed the door shut, and locked it. I called the police with trembling hands. When they arrived, they searched the house. They finally pulled him out from under the bed. He wasn't just some stranger. He was smiling. A wide, crooked smile that never left his face as they dragged him out, In his backpack, they found rope, duct tape, and a small bottle of pills. But what made my stomach turn was a folded piece of paper. On it was a drawing of my house and my room. My bed circled in red ink. Underneath, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "Wait until she's asleep." The officers later told me something that still keeps me awake at night. The man hadn't just broken in that night. He had been inside before. They found food wrappers, empty water bottles, and even a blanket tucked into the crawl space beneath the floorboards. He had been living in my house, watching me, listening, waiting. Sometimes even now when the house is quiet, I swear I can still hear it. That slow, steady breathing right beneath me.
Like and subscribe.